You guys have me for 3 hours over here. I'll be doing a lot of work in terms of mindset and spirituality today. I'm a business coach. I look forward to giving you all the aspects of life that I can give. I look up to Tony Robbins and Jesus. I can say that no matter what. You guys have a great day. You guys can find my Instagram over here. I will say though that my first course is going to be how to live up to it, and it's going to be 1 hour long. I realise, guys, in order for you to live up to it in life, you have to be a person who has a mindset first. You have to be a person who can look great. You have to be a person who can give ideas. You have to be a person who's a business strategist, such as Tony Robbins. You guys have to lift yourselves, and you have to be able to do it now. You have to realize that in order to public speak today, you have to show yourself in the world, and you have to do more than anybody else. You have to realize that those people who can speak can do anything. You have to realize that those people who love to go are the ones who love to speak. You have to understand that in life, it's about prosperity, and those people who have abundance are going to have more to give. You have to understand that those people who love life are going to love more than anybody else. You need to be inspirational. You need to be a person who can read every single day. I read 10 hours a day on 3.5 times, which is 35 hours a day, guys. I read 35 hours a day. You have to understand, I read 3.5 times faster than the average speed. You have to understand communication is powerful. So those people who are trying to live up to it, those people who are trying to live up to it are the ones who can grow. And how do you grow? You live up to it. You have to understand, you live up to being in yourself. You need to be a person who's looking inside. You need to be a person who's giving ideas. You have to tape yourself. I've got my camera over here. I just realized that no matter what, the whole world will see this on my Instagram. You guys can check out my Instagram here as well. You have to understand that no matter what happens, you guys have to really lift. And during the economic climate of today, in terms of what's going on, you guys have to look inward rather than outward. You have to understand it's never about the news, and it's never about what's going on Channel 10. You have to understand it's never about the Australian TV today. You understand? You have to understand it's about entrepreneurship. You have to understand it's about leadership. You have to understand that the news is going to terrorize you. I'd rather you stay away from it. I do. I listen to Brian Tracy, who is an author and a public speaker today, and he says, the greatest measure of success is self-discipline, and the higher your self-discipline, the higher your success. You need to read books. You need to be a person who can read fast. You have to adapt quickly. You have to be a great mindset today. I promise you those people who can really live up to it are the ones who can be in the spotlight and they can do anything. You have to be a person who can receive all the attention in the world. You deserve it. You just have to show for it. You have to be a person who can really begin today to record yourself even when you're on the street doing a microphone such as this in an entrepreneurial manner, and that way you can speak out and you can give ideas. I promise you when you're giving ideas, you will also be given. I promise you those people who've got something to say, you guys have to speak up. I promise you it's never about shyness anymore. I promise you it's not about anxiety. I promise you it's about leadership. And Martin Luther King Jr., I have a dream. You understand? You guys have a dream. You need to inspire yourself daily. You can see me here. I'm inspiring myself. I don't care about who's inspiring me, except for I, in Jesus' name. I understand I do this for something greater. I don't do it for myself. You have to understand that is the way to go, and you only look inward to be able to become a better person. You have to realize that being a better attitude, as Dr. Wayne Dyer says, is everything. You need to be positive. You need to look at the inner realms of life. I promise you, those people who are bothered by communication are the ones who are never going to lead. You need to live right now, and you need to be a person who's going to really stay focused inside of yourself and never in your mind. You never be in the mind, you be in the body. You have to understand to go and look at Eckhart Tolle and his teachings. You have to understand he teaches a lot of meditation, such as no mind, as the Buddha says. You have to understand the Buddha says, have no mind. I mean, never think about it. You have to be a person who's really journalizing all of your work. You need to journal every single day, and you need to be a person who's really spiritual. How you guys doing? I will say that no matter what happens, you guys are legendary. I thank you very much. I thank you for the support. I thank you very much. I thank you. I will say, guys, just be very foundational in positivity and do positive work in the world. I promise you it's worth it. I promise you that Zig Ziglar says that those people who are positive are going to get far more done than those people who are negative. You have to understand that he says that no matter what, that positivity will get you further than negativity ever will. You have to understand to go and read from Zig Ziglar today, because this person is a motivational coach and speaker. I will say he passed away, although he's gone and he lives an eternal life after this world. You have to understand, and you have to believe in something greater. You have to understand that those people who can speak can really do it. You need to communicate on a daily basis more in your journal. You need to realize your journal is everything. I write in my journal everything about life. I write about my life all day long. I talk with myself all day long. I talk in a positive manner. I talk in a way that I can communicate and give ideas every single day, such as I am now. I do it in my journal because sometimes I cannot do a video, although I can do anything. You have to understand that 3 o'clock in the morning, when everybody's sleeping, I write in my journal and I give value. I give value for free. I do this for free. I'm recording myself right now because most people are just walking away. I realize that those people online who watch me online can watch the full episode right now. I realize those people can do it. You have to realize that those people who are reading on YouTube, I hope that you read on YouTube read on YouTube 2 times faster than you do. I realize that I realize that it's never about reading on the average speed. I realize you have to read 3.5 times faster and get yourself the Audible app today. I realize it's an audiobook app where you get your books from and you start reading your audiobooks. You go into business seminars with Tony Robbins. You go and find Zig Ziglar and Jim Rohn. You also find Eckhart Tolle and also John C. Maxwell. I promise you guys have to check them out. You have to understand that you guys need to lead. You need to lead today, and you need to speak your mind. You have to speak your heart out, because you can understand John F. Kennedy, you can understand Mahatma Gandhi. You understand? You can understand Jesus had a mouth, and you have to use your mouth. You have to use your mouth more often because it's powerful. You can inspire people. You have to understand those people who can grow, can give ideas, and you're unlimited when you can grow. I promise you, no matter what, just be a person who can exercise every single day. I mean, have a 30-minute walk. I realize that no matter what, I call myself a person who's better than yesterday. How about you? I'm a better person than yesterday. I'm a person who is doing something productive. I'm a person who has a business. I realize this is my business. I realize it's about getting attention. I realize it's about giving ideas. I realize it's about getting confident in front of the crowd. I realize I'm doing that now. I realize that you can understand my language. You can understand my language. I realize I am a public speaker. I'm 28 today, although in my heart I'm number 1 with Jesus. You understand? You have to understand that I am a millennial, although I'll be here for the next 73 years. You can find me at Danny Milivojevic. Inside my Instagram, you can find this episode. You have to understand that no matter what, be a person who's promoting yourself, be a person who can succeed far greater than your peers. I realize that no matter what, I have no peers from the past because they never follow me, and plus they criticize me also. You have to understand that I'm a person who's moved on from that life, and it's really about let's work together to have a better life. I realize no matter what happens, you push through the rejection. It's really about giving. I realize that when you're giving, you have no rejection. You're just giving love. You're just giving ideas. And those people who walk past you realize they have to go somewhere. You have to understand that you have to give ideas. And you give ideas for free, and you never charge for it, because Jesus never charged for his Bible. You understand? Why would you go charge money? You understand? You go and give all of your heart to those people who need it, and you have I realize that you have to understand that it's about using your I more. I love you. I love you. You have to use your I more daily. You use it in a journal. And you keep writing and writing in your journal with your I, and you have to realize that in the Bible it says you must not cut out your I. And the I is never your I on your head, it's really the I that you say. I love you. You never cut it out, and you use it more often. You have to realize that I is everything. I realize the more you use the I language, you will make yourself more confident. You do that in a journal. You realize that no matter what happens, you have to be a person who is just moving throughout life in a way. You're public speaking, you're doing something amazing. You have to realize that you need to plan your life ahead of you. And you need to realize to live up to 100 years of age. And how are you going to do that? Because that's an amazing accomplishment. I'm a vegan right now. I've been a vegan for 18 months. I've lost 47 kilos, guys. You have to realize that to lose 47 kilos, you have to stay away from McDonald's and all these foods. You have to understand it's never about processed foods, and it's never about meat food either. You have to understand it's about living a long life. And it's about living longer, because when you're living 7 years longer, you understand that you have 7 years more of happiness. You have to understand happiness is everything, and to increase it, you have to eat better. You have to study up on nutrition, and you have to dedicate yourself every single day to do something amazing. You have to speak greater. You have to do greater. You have to understand, guys, I'm born here in Australia. I will say my background is Serbian and Croatian. I will say that no matter what, you've never seen one such as me. You understand that no matter what, I'm a person who's greater than yesterday. I'm doing something foundational every day. I'm doing something to increase the crowd's knowledge here, because I'm foundational in learning. Before I came here, I was watching Dean Graziosi online, which you can get his book, The Millionaire Success Habits today. You can get it, and it's called Dean Graziosi Millionaire Success Habits. You go grab it, because that book is going to teach you a lot about how to live life. I realize it's about life coaching. You have to understand. You have to understand whatever you're passionate about, you can do it much better than you are today. And you have to learn how to do it. And nobody else is going to teach you how to do it. You have to teach yourself everything. You never look to the outside world to help you. You look inside and you help yourself. You have to understand it's about ideas, and you give them more into the planet, and you be comfortable with being with the crowd while you're growing. You understand? You only be comfortable in growth. You never shy out from anything. You push into it with your emotions. And you're a person I realize you're a person who's looking better than yesterday. You're doing something amazing, because no matter what, you're looking inside, and you've got the technique to make it happen. You would have to understand that those people who are communicating daily, more and more, are going to be more confident. You have to understand that nobody's going to talk with you more than you are with yourself. So why not get out your journal today and start writing more about yourself today and your story over the next 73 years. I promise you, you write 30,000 words about yourself every day. I promise you, you will get more confident over the next 73 years. I promise you, you need to make that your goal. Right now. I realize that right now you must make it your goal to write more in a journal, and you have your phone right now. You have your note system right now. You can start today. You write the date. You say, I have my thoughts today. And then you start today writing your story. You understand? Because it's inspiring, and you can inspire someone with your story. You understand? Because that's the way to go. You have to understand it's about wisdom. You have to understand it's about what you cannot see in life. You have to understand to see something is to see the truth. I realize that you never block your sight. You always see something, although you talk about what you can never explain. You have to understand that those people who can live up to it are the ones who are living life much better. You live up to it because no one else, nobody else will live it up for you. You understand? So give yourself love because you deserve it, and nobody else is going to love you. So look inside for it, because there's nothing out there in the world. I mean, I see a lot of architecture in the world. I promise you, it never fulfills you. I promise you, drugs and alcohol never fulfill you. I promise you that I've been 2 years sober now from the cigarettes and caffeine and soft drinks. I've stayed off it. I've stayed off the alcohol, and I'm off the illicit drugs now for over 6 years. You understand? I was a person smoking weed. I was a person doing cocaine. I was a person doing the ice. You understand that it's never the way to go. You can understand my language today. You can understand that you need to better your life today. You need to better your life and stop relying on pubs and going there at 10 o'clock in the morning to drink a beer, because that's never going to help you. You understand? You have to understand that no matter what, in your communication, you use the you in action. It's called the you in action. And every time I start a sentence, I start with the I and you. You must do this. I must do this. You must go this way. I must go this way. You have to understand my life. I have to understand your life. You have to understand it's about you and I. You and I, you and I. You would understand Dead Mouse Track. When you understand the Dead Mouse Track, you and I, you go and find it. I promise you that you have to ask great questions. I promise you to stop asking stupid questions. You have to understand that a stupid question never grows you. You understand? So go and ask questions that will grow you and be able to plan daily your schedule. I realize I have the 1 hour schedule, which is I have to stay indoors 23 hours. And when I stay indoors 23 hours, I just go to the shop for 1 hour to grab myself something to eat and maybe a clothing or something like that, and I come back into my accommodation so that I can prevent sickness from winter. I call it the 1 hour rule, where I stay 23 hours indoors. I realize that no matter what, I also have a 6 p.m. rule where it says I must be outdoors in terms of the world from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. I must be branding myself, I must be role modeling, I must be doing something productive, and also seeing the sights out here. I realize that no matter what, it's never about the outside world, it's about what's happening inside. You have to understand, when you're a person who's looking inside, you're going to be a greater person for it. You're going to be a person who is foundational in what you're saying, and you're never fooling around with growth. You have to understand that those people who never fool around are really the ones who can absorb information and positive information only. I mean, stay away from the radio. I mean, stay away from the Channel 7 and the Channel 10 and the Channel 9 Australia. You understand? And stay away from the 96.1 and 96.9 radio shows, because that teaches you nothing. You understand? You have to go where entrepreneurs are today, where they're going to teach you something. You have to go where Tony Robbins is. You have to go where John C. Maxwell is. You have to understand Jim Rohn. You have to go and read their books, because it's about attitude. You have to understand, your attitude is everything. I mean, your attitude is going to determine your altitude. You understand? So you need to be a person to see that. Zig Ziglar said that. You need to determine your life. And you need to take responsibility and never look to other people to solve your problems, because they never will. I promise you, it's only you that can solve your problems. And how do you do that? You start accumulating information over the next 73 years, because guess what? Over the next 73 years, I need you to live longer. I need you to live longer than that number. You understand? So make sure that you set a goal every single day to read 1 hour at least. You have to realize that no matter what, I started reading for 5 years, 1 hour every day. I then started to multiply that number. I read 35 hours a day now. I read 35 hours, I read all day long. I read 3.5 times faster. I read 3.5 times faster than I do right now. I go on audible.com and I read at 3.5 times the average speed. You'll understand, when I read 10 hours, I've got 3.5 times faster and more information than I would on times 1 theory. You'll understand that theory is thinking. You never look at the theory, you just go do it. You understand? Because that's the success. You understand, success is doing it, and it's never just reading. You have to understand it's about teaching. You need to understand it's about being a better person so that you can live up to it. You have to understand those people who are living up to it are the ones who are foundational in what they're saying, and they're really giving ideas in a way that they're going to succeed. You need to succeed in life, you need to be a person who's traveling the world. And to do that, you need to increase your attention. So what do? You realize that you get smarter, and you go where the smarter people are. I never need you in nightclubs, because nightclubs after 6 p.m. in the night, you never need to go outside after 6 p.m. at night. I don't know what you're going to do after 6 p.m. at night with people. You have to go inside and you have to go realize to go better your life with people, although it's about being positive and never being around negative people. You need a curfew of 6 p.m. You need to be at home inside by 6 p.m. and you have to realize that it's about living a life where you can study and you can grow and you can be a person who can be more excellent. You have to realize that those people after 6 p.m. got nothing to do. I realize they're going to restaurants. I don't know what that's going to help you with in life. I realize they're giving you food. I mean, go and make your own food. You understand? I mean, take control of your life. You have to understand that those people who love restaurants, I realize they may invest over $100 a day into a restaurant because they cannot cook. You have to go and learn to cook. I never cook. I never boil my food. I never fry my food. I never refrigerate my food. I never toast my food. I never microwave my food. I realize that I'm a vegan. I eat within 1 minute. I realize that my food preparation is 1 minute. I realize it's 1 second. I can just open it and I can start eating. You understand? I never eat at restaurants. Why? Because that way I have more to give myself. I am a person who's healthier that way. I'm a person who has more to give. I'm a person who has more money. I'm a person who has more time, because by the time you get to the restaurant and start eating, 1 hour of your life to eat some food for $20, you have to understand it's not about the money. You have to understand it's about your time. You're giving your time to a restaurant. You have to understand you go give your time to those people who grow you. You need to be a person who realizes to be able to go and move around. You need to move around more. You need to realize it's about, forget what's going on around the world. You have to realize it's about what's going inside of you right now. I mean, what's going inside? I mean, what kind of intrigue do you have in life? You need to be a person who's never poisoning your body. I mean, Jesus says in the Bible, I mean, he says to respect the temple. And if you're drinking alcohol and smoking cigarettes, you are causing a disservice to yourself and others. You understand that I smoked cigarettes for 7 years. I overcame it 4 times. I realized I overcame it finally. I'm smoke free now for 2 years. I realized that I quit because I quit the caffeine addiction. I realized I quit caffeine first, and then I quit the cigarettes. I quit half the battle, and then I quit the cigarettes. I realized that caffeine's half the battle when you're quitting cigarettes. I realized that alcohol is another trigger. You quit the alcohol and the caffeine, and then you can quit the cigarettes. You understand? Because you have many triggers with cigarettes. You understand, to overcome cigarettes, you need to find out your triggers. You have to be escalating your life to be on the offense. You need to be on the offense. You need to go long. You see the NFL and the American NFL. I mean, the whole point is go long in life. You have to understand that those people who have a foundational life are really living longer, and they're living happier, and they're living wealthier, and they have more money, and they have more health and vibrancy. You understand that it's never about the money you work for. You have to understand it's about the knowledge you give. I mean, when you're giving knowledge and you're working in a workplace, I mean, go and teach that workplace for free, and you'll become somebody big in that field. You understand? Because each and every topic leads to something else. I mean, when it's leadership, you then talk about positivity. You then talk about discipline. You then talk about motivation. You then talk about consistency. You then talk about gratitude. You then talk about attitude. You then talk about heights of your career. You then give a topic. You get a topic in terms of life when you give money for it, although you have to understand you go the free way, because the free way is going to help you more than giving money ever will. You understand? So go where the free love is, and never where people are asking you for money, because when they're asking you for money, they're expecting something in return. I mean, go and give them money first, and then you understand you'll get more back. You understand that no matter what, the money is in the wisdom. I mean, when you're giving wisdom, you'll always never lose it. You only grow with it. I mean, the wisdom is something you cannot see. I mean, it's the air. I mean, it's invisible. You're working for that realm. You're working for the spiritual realm of wisdom, of what you're saying in that word. You have to understand it's really about that, and how are you going to perform in a way that you can lead the crowd in a way that you're always growing, because you understand that it's about ideas, and those people who have more of it are going to have a much more wiser life. So be a wiser person and never say nothing. Never have nothing to say. I mean, have something to say all the time. I mean, never be that person who says nothing much. I don't know what that means. I mean, be a person who says, I'm doing something productive with Brian Tracy today because it's going to teach me something. I mean, be that person. I mean, be a student all your life. You understand? I mean, learn from your kids as well. You have to understand that when you have a baby, I mean, never shun the baby for who they are. I mean, teach them how to live a better life and learn why are they like that. You understand? Because that way you're interested. You have to be interested in people. You have to understand that it's about being a more interesting person. So to be more interesting, you need more knowledge. You need more knowledge in life. You need to be a person who accumulates it. I promise you, after 5 years of accumulating knowledge, 1 hour every day, I promise you, you need to do that for your lifetime. You never do it for 5 years. You understand? You need to be a person who's accumulating it. I promise you it's fuel. I promise you it's the same fuel that you put in the car. I promise you it runs your engine. You then realize that you have all this passion like a dog. You see a dog? So passionate. You realize a dog's so passionate. Why? Because the dog has so much knowledge. You understand? And then, guess what guess what happens when the dog's so passionate? You get excited. You understand? You get excited because you have all this knowledge, and then you go give it, like I am today. You understand? Because I have so much passion to give. I have so much love. You need so much more love than you have today. You need to be so much more inspirational. You understand? So be like that dog who is passionate and be that excited in life. I mean, that's happiness. You understand? I mean, you need to have happiness. You need to have joy in life. You need to be that type. You need to be that type of person who has that type of joy, who is always pronouncing yourself inside. You pronounce yourself inside and you're never worried about the world, because guess what? When you're worried about the world, you're fearing life. It's never really you that is fearing life, it's really your ego. Your ego is never you. Your ego and your fear is your ego, which is your fake ego. I mean, you have a mind and you are something that's beyond this world. I mean, you're not a person in this world. You have to understand, you're a divine being. You're something above this world. You are never above people. You understand that everybody here is equal. You have to understand that God loves everybody equally. I mean, just because you did more than other person doesn't mean that other person is going to be below. Doesn't mean that person is going to be below anybody else, because God loves that person equally to everybody else. You have to understand, when you give level 500 success, God will love you the same way He would a baby who's just came into the world. You understand? Because that baby is yet to give something. Although that realize that baby is already given something. You understand? You have to understand that life is a contradictory term, as Osho says. You need to read from Osho, because Osho is a spiritual teacher. You can get his book, The Book of Wisdom, and his name is Osho. It's a 49-hour book. You can go and read it, and it's also an audio book. I read it in 1 day and a half. I realize it really takes me 15 hours to read the book from 40 hours in terms of 49 hours long. I realize I read faster than I do. I realize that I'm a person who loves longevity. I love to speak here. I'll be here for the next 3 hours. I realize it's about living a life of freedom. So when you work for freedom, like I am today, I do this for free. I'll always be free. Why? Because my communication skills will get me there. I realize that I have the communication skills to go around the world, and I'll teach it, I'll preach it, and I'll be it. Because I am a person who lives in integrity right now. You have to understand the parables in what you're saying is your habits. Your habits say everything. So when you're a positive person, you're going to be a person who is better than yesterday. Just be a person who's never a know-it-all. Never be a nobody. Be a somebody who is a love of your life. Be a love of your life, and never say that you're a nobody. It's about be a somebody in life. Everybody is going to be a somebody. I realize that everybody is going to be a somebody to somebody. Although you have to understand that I'm a somebody all the time, and you must be also. You have to realize it's about positive affirmations, and it's about giving freedom. You need to give freedom, because those people who give freedom will always have it. I have a dream, as what's his name? As Martin Luther King says, I have a dream. You understand? You need a dream, and you need to start with the I in that sentence. I have a dream. You understand? I. Because the more you speak I in life, the higher your integrity. You understand? Because the I is a big faction in your life that's going to help you succeed, so you use it more often. You have to understand that those people who can really speak, can give the attention they need, and they're the ones who can connect the dots. As Vishen Lakhiani says in his book, The Code of the... I realize that Vishen Lakhiani has the book, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind, and you need to read it. You can also find him at Mind Valley in YouTube right now. You can go to Vishen Lakhiani. You have to understand that no matter what, you guys need to perform much greater in athletics and whatever you're doing. Although, you have to realize that those people in sports, you need to realize that eventually your sports career is going to finish. And you need to go into communication skills anyway. So help yourself communicate all day long and be a person who is a positive person who can succeed in some aspect of your life. I mean, be a positive person and stand around, but make sure you're growing and make sure you're picking up ideas of what's going on around you, because that way you're going to do the wisdom work, because it's about wisdom and helping people. And you never be shy about how you look, and you always increase your self-esteem anyway, because guess what? A baby will love you the way you are. You understand? I mean, when kids come into the world, I mean, they never judge you about how you are in life. I mean, they love you for how you are. So be that type of kid who loves people the way they are. You understand? Because when you have kids, I mean, you can be 500 kilos and the kid will love you. You understand? So be that type of person who's that kid loving everybody and giving love. You understand? So accept people the way a baby will accept you. You understand? So that's what kids bring into the world, and you have to understand that it's about popularity and it's about attention, although inspire people first. I realize that when you have nothing to inspire with, I realize that you're a shambles. You understand? Because people who never inspire are the people dramatizing everything. And they're doing it in the news, and you stay away from the news because that way you inspire yourself to do something greater. You have to understand that those people who have something to give are the ones tuning themselves out of the negativity, because that's how you show up to it in my course 182 right now that I'm doing. You have to understand that at the moment I'll be here for the next 3 hours. You have to understand that you have to be a person who's living in the moment, and you have to preach the gospel, which is this moment. I mean, you have to live in this moment, which is the gospel of your life. I mean, the gospel is really you living inside. I mean, you need to be a person who's living inside. So you never look toward other people to solve your problems. You never work all your life in a 9-to-5 job, because a 9-to-5 job would never get you there. You have to understand what will get you there is looking inside and being away from the 9-to-5 job. You have to understand it's never about making money. You have to understand it's about giving first. I mean, you're doing something for nothing. You need to be a person who's doing that in terms of life. You need to be a person who's looking inside for work. You need to realize that it's about living a greater life and be honest about it. I mean, have a sense of integrity where you can say, I'm a positive person and I do greater than everybody else. I mean, that's confidence. I mean, when somebody else is jealous of you, I mean, you're succeeding more, so just help them anyway and give love anyway. I mean, go your own way and never be violent. I mean, never cause violence. Because as it says in the Bible, thou shalt not kill. I promise if you kill, you will go to jail and you'll be there for the rest of your life. I never need that for you. You understand? So obey the universal laws of what Jesus said in the Bible, because those are the ultimate laws, and you understand that human laws are here to control you, so never be controlled. I mean, never be controlled by human laws, because it's really about what's better than human laws today. I mean, let's really expose something greater than what we are. You have to understand that you need to be a positive person. You need to be a person who has the equity inside to live a greater life. And just be positive about it, and make sure that no matter what, you're looking for ideas in the moment, and you're being a positive person for your life. I mean, every time you speak the I interest, you're always going to look inside for it, and that's how you're going to show up for it. You're going to show up for it in a way that you're going to live up to it, so that you can public speak, and so you can do something foundational that's going to help you grow first. And that way you're going to have a nice beautiful business seminar anywhere in the world, because you have the communication skills to do it. You understand? Because it's about lifting your vocabulary. So read those synonyms I realize that you have a dictionary right now, and you read those synonyms in the Google Trends. You go and write any word and you say the meaning of goodness, for example, and you'll say goodness synonyms, and then you'll see the synonyms, which are the related cousins of that word, and then you connect the dots of those words. I mean, the dictionary is your best asset in life. I realize that when you connect the dots together in terms of the words, you're going to be able to public speak easily. You're going to be able to speak in front of a crowd luckily and easily and everything. You have to understand that everything means something better. You have to understand, you make up your own meanings, you make up your own definitions, you make up the word of your life, and you're never ever a person who has nothing to say. You're always a person who's greater than yesterday. You're giving ideas, and you're like an audiobook on wheels. You're always going you're always going everywhere. You're always speaking, and you're always talking to yourself every single day. I realize that communication skills and those people who can be in the crowd and speak are the ones who can do it. So no matter what, never be down on yourself. You realize that no matter what, you just have to write more. You just have to write more to get to my communication level. You have to understand, it's really write every single day 30,000 words about yourself. I realize that if you don't write about yourself and your story, I promise you nobody else will. You have to understand, you need to write more about your story, and that way you will be more confident about yourself. I realize I do it in a journal, I do it in my phone. So I have 2 phones, I use it for business, I use it to give you something. You have to understand, I give you some knowledge with those phones that I have. I use a Samsung, I never invest in iPhones anymore, because a Samsung for me does it. You understand? So I'm a person who is always doing greater than yesterday, I'm always motivated. I realize that no matter what, I'm always doing better. And how do I do better? I read more, I talk more, I get in front of a crowd more, and I'm always public speaking in a way that I'm doing better than yesterday, because it's about my growth today, and what I give you is for free. And you have to realize that I need to grow from this, and I need to change my words every single time I speak, because that's how to adapt into a better person. You have to realize that when you speak the same words all the time, you'll be saying dada like a little kid all your life. You understand? Because you're always saying dada. You understand? So be a person I realize to be a person who is a kid in my, who is really a baby. I realize that you guys are all babies here. You're not adults. I mean, you're a baby. You're never getting old. You're getting younger over time. I mean, to get younger is to be a vegan, because I was a meat eater for 26 years. I realize it's never the way to go. I'm a vegan now for 18 months. I'm getting younger and I'm getting sexier as the day goes on, because I'm eating healthier. I'm also kinder to the world around me. I realize no matter what, I give max. I give max. No matter what, I give. How are you doing? How are you doing? I'm doing very good. I'm doing very good. Thank you very much. You're very positive. Thank you. You guys have to be more inspirational like this person who comes up to a positive person to give him a high five, because those people are going to succeed. You understand? Because it's about giving free love. You understand? You need to be a positive person. Have a credibility in yourself first, because it's called self-worth. I mean, when you credit others, you will have more self-esteem to do so. You have to understand that those people who promote others, you will ultimately promote yourself that way. I mean, when you're lifting other people, you'll also be lifted. And it's about lifting, so find those people who lift you and stick with them and forget everybody else, because you need to grow now and you need to be around better people than you are today. You have to realize that when you have $1 trillion and you're around people who have $100,000, you understand that you never be jealous anyway about those people who have more money, because it's never about the money. You have to understand it's about communication skills. And those people who have better communication skills, you never be jealous of those people, because they're giving you free love. You understand? So those people who have greater communication skills have more money, and never be jealous of those people who have more money, because they work for it in a way that they are accustomed to the way they speak, to make sure that they're growing. So you speak in a way every time that it's never the same as before. I mean, every single time you give a nice, beautiful lecture or teaching such as this, which is a parable, you'll understand that this parable today is called Course 183 in my seminar, which is how to live up to it. You can find me on Instagram at Danny Milivojevic. I'm also a person that no matter what, I am born here, I am half Serbian and half Croatian. I have Yugoslavian parents. You understand that no matter what, you guys live a greater life anyway. You need to realize that the background is always going to help you to find someone who can help you to succeed. You have to understand, you find always those people and you live up to it in a way that you're a student, and you be a person who's always giving a story anyway in front of a crowd, because that way you're going to be more confident about what you said, what you've said, for what you've said, because guess what? When I repeat myself 3 times in my communication, I make sure to correct myself in a better way. And it's about a beautiful smile such as this lady over here. You need a beautiful smile all the time, and be a positive person. Be a person who has a foundational technique where you can help people to communicate and have a better attitude, because those people who sing symphonies are able to produce music, and they're able to communicate, and they're able to live life, and they're able to give money, and they're able to do anything in this world. Because I can do it. I will do it. I'm doing it now. You understand? I realize it's about that kind of structure, and you have to realize that I must be here today to help you to grow for free. I mean, it's for free, and nobody else has got nothing to say. Otherwise, realize you always have to have something to say. I realize it's never about arguing with people. I realize that I'm never against anybody, although you need to be a positive person. And you live up to it, and you teach people how to grow, because that's how you grow. You teach as Jesus teach. You understand? You teach people, because that's the successful road. I mean, that's the way to go. And you teach and teach and teach. I mean, Michael Jordan has to go and teach more about how he shoots those 3-pointers. You understand? You also have to go and teach how you do your life. You understand? I teach how I do my life, and you also have to do the same, because Jesus did, and the Buddha did. You have to understand, the Buddha was teaching, you also have to teach something, and the Buddha teach for free. I mean, the Buddha's teachings is for free. I mean, people are charging for it. I don't know why, because somebody else got the Buddha's work, and they did their own work through the Buddha's work, and then they're charging for it, although you understand that the Buddha never charged for his work. I mean, Jesus never charged for his work. Why would you charge for your work? I mean, it's about living for free, and never have a money barrier that's blocking you from other people. Because when I ask you for $10 so that I can give you this public speech, which I've been doing for 40 minutes now, you will never even love me anymore, because I'm asking for something already. I have to give you the service first, and then guess what? I don't care about your money. How about that? You understand? I just give the service first. You have to understand. It's about live a freedom life style. You have to realize that you have to go out in style, as Jim Rohn says, and to do that, you be a better person for it. You be a person who can really succeed. How you doing, bro? I can say this guy over here is a legend. I realize that.
Man, I like this. I like what you're doing.
I realize no matter what, when you're a person who's really succeeding and you're doing something.
It's spiritual. It's fucking you, yourself.
Thank you. I thank you.
Religious experience or something, or
I've been a person who really, let's say, I was doing drugs. I was doing a lot of drugs, and because of that, I suffered a lot. And now I have the communication skills to do it, because I write in my journal every single day.
I can hear.
I realize when you hear me, I realize that I never lie in my communication. So I was a drug addict for about 3 years, and I became schizophrenic because of it. I became schizophrenia because I was a person who had drug insecurity.
You know, the mind fixes itself up.
I understand.
Doing what you do is fine. You know, doing what you like. I understand. Being 100%, man. Being
I understand. You have to be 100%.
exactly what you are. And knowing what is right, sensing what is right.
I understand.
When you sense something's wrong, it's the only thing you got, man.
I mean, it's never about right or wrong in
But
life.
like, you know, there's danger. This world is dangerous. We are all murderers. So be very careful. When you sense something wrong, not even make any such for your own life, brother.
I understand.
For you to make it. It's your spiritual life that's going to keep you there, mate.
You have to be a positive person who, let's say, is never thinking about the world. I mean, you're never thinking about the world and how dangerous it is, because those people.
The world, mate, the way of the world is all lies, right? It's all about killing each other.
I will say that I stay away from.
Be in the world, but don't love the world.
I never love the world.
That's the one. Be in the world, do not love the world, accept it. Don't make it number one. Carry on, mate, because you're number one.
You have to be number one with Jesus.
Well, that's absolutely.
You have to
He's
be
the man. You said the magic word. That's it. I'm out of here.
I will say that no matter what. I will say just never ever think about the world. I realize it's more about being in the moment and being meditational in terms of how the Buddha was teaching, and he's still teaching today in terms of what he's teaching in terms of knowledge.
Just as teaching. Pretty much says it's in your heart, mate. You know, God loves us all, but what's in our heart? So the knowledge of the meditate. And you know, mistakes, but don't mistakes all, but what's in your heart, what's in your heart.
I understand.
That's what he wants to see. It doesn't matter if you're a Hitler. Even Hitler's got more chance than you.
I mean, Hitler had a big ego, and because the ego is never huge. And now, those people who kill have a big ego. So what you do is, you realize it's never really them who's killing, and it's their mind that's controlling them. So be a person who's controlling your mind, so you never have to kill someone.
Have a wholesome mind. The ego is not mate. I've been a rock star.
You need to be a person who acquires it. You need to listen to Albert Einstein when he says that the more knowledge you have, the less of an ego you will have. So the more knowledge you have, the less you'll be like Hitler. You understand?
Knowledge is good.
I mean, those people who have no knowledge are the ones who look like Hitler. I mean, they're going to kill 20 million people. You understand? Because it's the ego. I realize it's the ego that kills people, and those people who have more knowledge and wisdom are never killers. I realize it's never the point to kill, and never kill animals either, because the more knowledge you have about the world and inside, because no matter what, the world's knowledge comes from the inside. And those people who are really successful are able to really develop inside more than they are outside.
But you know, we had dominance over the animals. We had dominance over the animals.
You realize.
If we need to eat, we go and get some. In the history, we started as savages. You know, we were out there hunting for food. You know, we out there, we get the food, but not maliciously hurting animals. It's coming up, it's creeping up. I see it in the news. There's a lot more satanic fucking cults coming up, man.
Understand.
Yeah, that shit is all based on that. It's all based on sacrifice, blood, virgin, animals.
I'll stay-
all that horrible shit.
I'll stay away from the news. I'll stay away from the news.
Very good, very good. Soak it in occasionally, just lightly, every so often, just to kind of touch on it. Because there's a lot of exaggeration too, a lot of mind manipulation on the news. They manipulate to make you feel that everything's okay.
Would you like to give
Sorry, brother. Yeah, no, I'll let you go. Have a lovely day.
I realize you have amazing ideas. I realize there's much more that you give to everybody else. There's more. I realize,
Job, man. I want to do the same thing. I'm going to set up my little fucking website, my little thing, and I'm going to present everything that I've got to offer, all the shortcuts of life.
I will say you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram, Danny Malloy. You've got my Instagram over here. You can take a photo. I'm Danny Malloy. I have a nice beautiful Instagram. I have all these courses. I will go an extra 30 minutes because no matter what, there's always more time to give more information. And you just always stay out of the world's drama, because those people who look at drama and what's going on with the news are going to become more like murderers. You understand? Because it's more of the negativity that's happening in the news, and you stay away from that, because guess what? You need what's more, although you stay away from the news, because what's in the news is less, and it's making you less of who you are.
Manipulation. But don't say that too loud, brother.
I realize no matter what, just
Say
be a
different
person.
words or they'll come and shut you up, eh?
Understand,
Bastards.
understand.
Don't forget, this is a fucking crushing machine, man.
Understand.
Yeah, cool.
You have to realize that it's really about be a positive mindset and just stay away from the news, because I realize the news is never going to help you.
Look, I love the way you say
Thank you. I do Jesus work. I do Jesus work right now.
man.
I thank you. I love it. I realize, guys, that no matter what, you just be a person who can stay away from the news, because the news creates murderers today, and there's a lot of negativity going around, and you have to understand to never be limited about what you're doing in life. I mean, when somebody stops you to talk with you, I mean, talk with them and then continue another extra 15 minutes giving extra information to complete your 1 hour in your course. You understand? Because I have a nice beautiful one course. I have a course up here which is 182 in terms of how to live up to it. So I'm talking about spirituality and
Do you entertain questions?
I entertain questions.
Okay.
Would you like to ask a question?
Okay, number one. What kind of denomination is that?
What number?
Denomination.
What number denomination is that?
What number? What kind of denomination is that?
I realize that a domination to me is something better.
No. Something it's religion. There's about millions of religion here in this earth, okay? And I'm asking, what kind of religion do you have?
I see. Well, my religion is spirituality. So I am based on all the religions. That's much better than what it is. I realize it's more about religion that you can better with yourself. I realize it's really something that you can never describe. I realize it's more, you have to understand that it comes from the inside. You can
Can you tell
understand.
me what kind of religion you're talking about?
You have to understand that the religion of life is living inside. And
No, it's not true. It's
I realized that I never live outside. I realized that the truth for me is seeing and being alive.
Religion, true religion, based on accurate knowledge.
I mean, accurate knowledge is something better. I realize that when I have accurate knowledge, I never just stay accurate. I stay accurate much better.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to learn and grow because I realize.
Accurate is true. Because Jesus said, you will know the truth and the truth will set you free.
I realize the truth stays the same. So the more you have,
There are so many false news, false person, false religion.
I realize there is a lot of false myth going
Which
around.
one is the truth?
I realize although I stay in the positive realm and I look at the positive
There's no such thing as
stuff of life. I realize when you're a person who communicates, you need to be a person who really looks inside more, and that way you can be a much better person.
You cannot see inside, okay? Only the outside. Okay? That's why there's a saying, you don't just judge the book by its cover, because you cannot see inside.
I realize it's more about the
Can you
accurate
see my organ? But with me, no, of course not. Because that is inside. You can see my physical, but not inside. Okay?
I look inside for everything that I can do so I can make sure that I can grow. I teach from the inside. I teach from what's inside. I can say my teaching is life. I teach life, I teach everything about what's better. I teach everything about life. I teach negativity, I teach everything that's better.
Okay, you tell me which one is better.
I can say positivity is better than negativity.
How can you tell me it's positive or negative?
I can say that when through experience and also you can see that
That
no matter
when you
what.
fall, it will not work if it's only positive. There should be negative.
I only have positivity. I only have positivity in my life. I only have positivity.
No, you should look it by accurate knowledge.
I have much better accurate knowledge because I'm a person growing from what I say.
By those people.
I never get told what to do. I'm a person who really shows for it. I show how to live a better life.
You will not be staying here if you are doing better like that.
I'm just a person who likes to grow. I'm a person who likes to be more spiritual.
You cannot just say like that. You should have the divine approval like that. Humans, each one of us, you know the Bible says, conduct to them, conduct to one return. We are not better than the rest of us.
I'm equal.
That's you.
I'm equal with everybody. I realize that everybody in terms of life is equal. So when somebody,
There's no such thing equal.
I realize that I'm
Because we are
equal.
more than perfect.
I'm equal with everybody. I'm always better than yesterday.
Only yesterday.
I'm-
What
I'm-
about last year?
I mean, yesterday is last year. Yesterday is last year. Dinosaurs live today.
No dinosaur was being extinct during Noah's day. Don't you know that the earth was submerged with water? There's no such thing dinosaur nowadays.
I can say that.
You say there is Satan's now, I will believe you 100%. But dinosaur, there's no such thing dinosaur. Did you see walking girls and dinosaur? Come on, be realistic.
I can say that no matter what, I'm always a better person who looks up to something great. I'm always.
You better accept the Bible study from you. I know that better than you.
I don't know anything. I know nothing. I follow Socrates' rule, which says the only thing I know is I don't know nothing. I just speak.
I would appreciate you if you say always like that because
I know.
you are humble enough.
I'm humble. I'm a noble man.
You see?
I never look down at anybody.
But don't tell me you are more intelligent than those other people.
I'm more intelligent than myself. Only.
No. Even yourself, you don't know.
I'm only intelligent more than myself.
Just as I still intelligent. Because as a humans, I told you we are from the dust.
I'm from abundance.
Come on, you're contradicting what you say.
I realize that life is a contradiction.
Enjoy your
You too. I realize that no matter what, guys, just be a person who realizes that religion is living in the moment. And those people who know it all are the ones who are going to criticize you. And you have to realize that those people who criticize you, you just be positive and you believe something better than what's said, because that way you'll learn through experience how wisdom is done. And wisdom is really something that's self-evaluated experience. So as John C. Maxwell says in his book, The 15 Laws of Growth, you have to understand that those people who haven't experienced are not experiencing wisdom. What they're experiencing is the experience. Although, after your experience, you write about it, and that is the wisdom. You understand? Because those people who teach the value of what they've experienced are the ones who are teaching the wisdom about it. I realize that when you just have an experience all your life and you never teach, I promise you that you learn nothing from that. You need to teach every single day your life and how are you living today so that other people can live better. I realize that those people who are, let's say, drinking anything that's going to be very bad for them are going to live a shorter lifestyle. And you have to understand that I was a person who drank alcohol and did drugs, and I realized that it's never the way to go. I realized that the way to go is to be sober. I realized that I'm a straight edge person. I stay away from caffeine, I stay away from people who are negative and people who disagree with me. I realize that no matter what, when people disagree with you, I realize they hate you. I realize they hate you for what you're doing. So when you're giving them love anyway, you realize that they'll leave and you go your way. Although you have to allow life and you have to realize to show up for it, you have to realize that it's about forgiveness, and that way you can. You have to realize that to be able to do something amazing, you need to be a great communicator. And that way you can ask great questions, as John C. Maxwell says. You have to understand that those people who believe in something greater than themselves are going to do something greater. And those people who never believe in something greater are the ones who are always staying small in life and they're never doing anything. I mean, go and believe in something greater. I mean, believe that there is a greater you in life. I realized that I'm better than yesterday because I used to weigh 113 kilos. I weigh around 67 now. I've maintained it for 18 months now. I'm a vegan. I have high energy levels all day. I drink 2 soy milks a day, and that's my body maintainment for the day. I realize that each and every time you eat something that has 1 gram of protein, I realize that is also going to add up in terms of life to make you more energetic in a way that you can realize that when you have 80 kilograms of body mass, you have to be eating 80 grams of protein. You have to realize that you need to develop muscles, you need to develop your mindset, you need to develop everything in your life, and you need to go about it in a way that you're learning through what you're doing. Because those people who are learning are growing, and those people who are never reading are dying and watching the news. I mean, the news, I never watch it. I watch Tony Robbins, I watch John C. Maxwell and Jim Rohn, I watch Dean Graziosi, I watch Tim Ferriss, I watch Lewis Howes. I realize that those people teach me something because they're doing business. I realize it's about business. So what kind of business are you into today and how are you proceeding forward? You have to ask yourself those questions. You have to understand that you need to know yourself more and more and more throughout time, because those people who understand a greater lifestyle will do so. You need to understand that those people who can really live a life are the ones who can really they can be brilliant and they can speak much greater than they did yesterday. I realize it's about communication and speak in a way that you're never ignoring the crowd, although you're teaching in a way that you can really look at yourself more than you are at other people. You understand? Look at yourself more than other people, that way you can focus. I realize that focus is looking inward and never at other people. Because at the moment, I'm focused inside. I'm never focused at other people. Because I have to talk. So to talk, I have to focus on myself in order to do so. Because when I focus on other people, I lose myself. You understand? I did that already. I did that with drugs. I did that with alcohol. I was focusing on that more than myself. And that's called neglect. I realize that's called neglect. And when you're neglecting yourself, you're focusing on outside people and the world outside of you more than you are on yourself. You focus inside because happiness is an inside job. You understand? So that's your business all your life, and teach happiness and how to do much more of that every single day. You understand? You need more happiness in life. You need something that's going to give you more money than something that's taking away your money. I realized that when people are negative around you, you need positive people around you. So that's how I show up to it. You need to realize that in order for yourself to get better, you need to be a person who is always doing something according to a greater good. You need to be standing for the greater good of life, because no matter what, people can reject you as long as you have a video going where you can teach other people along the way what you're doing. You'll never fail and you'll never resist to do so. You have to understand that those people who resist to go and teach something on the street are the ones who have not decided yet to do it. You have to understand why? Because they lack self-esteem, although they may have a different idea, although this works for me personally. You have to understand, I love to do work for free. I realize that everybody is different. Although I realize that when you get on the street and you teach something for free, you got the attention. So that's how to become more popular. You understand? So you guys will realize I started to market online on social media, and I was giving $30 a day for about 1 month. And guess what? I only received 200 followers from the $600 that I gave. I realized that it's never even worth it, because I can come and do a street performance here and get some free views for free. I never have to give $30 a day anymore. You understand? I never have to give $30 a day and get 50 people from certain countries giving me hate for the way I speak. You understand? So I come here and you can do it in front of the world and hate me in front of the world then. I realize I do it for free here and I save money that way. I saved $1 million throughout my life giving money in terms of advertising, so I can come on the street and do it all my life, because no matter what, I have attention here. And attention is grace when you're giving inspiration, because those people who give inspiration are going to have more. You need to realize that every time you do something special that's much better than yesterday, you're experiencing something new. I realized that just yesterday I experimented with Nando's sauce and also chickpeas. I realized I experimented with sauce and chili and also mustard sauce with other foods in terms of tofu. And I realized that it's a nice, beautiful way to always experience something new. I realized that I'm always experiencing a much better lifestyle than yesterday. You need to do something in accordance to what is going to benefit you in the long run. You need to realize it's about eat better than yesterday and be a more positive person, where you can do something to increase your lifespan. You have to realize it's about peak performance. You understand? So peak performance. You go and do that. I mean, what is that? I mean, it's confidence. I mean, go and work on your confidence. I mean, find people who are confident and who can speak in front of a crowd and let them teach you how to communicate. I mean, if you cannot communicate at this level, then you have to improve. You understand? You have to understand, you have to improve if you cannot go and do a street performance in front of people and teach your passion, because that is the way to do so. And you have to understand, to do so, you have to communicate better so that you can give ideas. I find many beatboxers on the street, I find many entertainers on the street. I realize they can do it, I realize you can do it too. You have to understand that ideas is a way of life. And those people, I realize that those people who speak ideas all day long, as Zig Ziglar and Jim Rohn say, I realize they are the ones who are more entrepreneurial. So those people are giving wisdom and free love and communication into the world, and they're bringing something to, I realize they're bringing something to the table. I realize they're doing something to support you. You have to realize that I now realize I get supported more because I have people here who are also promoting their work, and you have to understand that when you're promoting the work, you will also be promoted. I promise you that when you're standing in front of a crowd and people are also with you, I promise you that way you grab more attention and you're more the positive person, because you're never drinking alcohol and you're never drinking wine on the weekends and you're never living for the weekends, because I mean, what is on the weekends? I realize that I live every single day, and I realize that Herbalife, I used to go to Herbalife, I realize now I travel the world. I understand that no matter what in Herbalife they say, thank God it's Monday. I would say, I thank God it's Tuesday. I thank God it's Wednesday. I thank God it's today. You understand? Because I never live for the weekends. I live every single day. You understand? I live every single day to communicate every single day. I do 3 hours of the show every single day. You understand? I do 3 hours of this every single day. I realize Tony Robbins is doing this 8 hours at his seminar. And I realize he has 3-day seminars. I can do the same thing. You have to understand, I can sit here and speak with you all day long on stage. You understand? I can speak all day long. I've got so much ideas. I mean, every single question you have, I solve it. You understand? Because I have no problems in life. I never need a problem in my life. I solve problems. I mean, that's what an entrepreneur does. I mean, you solve problems and you help people. And that way you will become somebody in your field. I mean, when you do it for free, I mean, that way you build a reputation first and you never charge for your work and what you do. Because you give the service first, you understand? And that's all you ever do. You never care about the money because the money is never going to get you anywhere. I mean, the money is never going to teach you how to grow. I will though. I'm valuable. You understand? I mean, the money you have is never going to grow you. You have to understand that you can give money to someone who can help you grow. I mean, that way you can say that money can grow you. Although money alone will never grow you. Do you understand? I mean, people grow you. So appreciate people and that you have people in this planet. I realize otherwise you'll be living with lions. You understand? Although you have to understand that we are creatures of habit. And those people who have better habits are the ones who are going to appreciate themselves more. I realize it's about more freedom. I realize it's more about a lifestyle. I mean, have a lifestyle and have a better one than yesterday. I realize those people who figure it out, I realize they know nothing. I mean, you never figure it out in life. You understand? I've got nothing figured out in life. I just do better than yesterday though. I realize I know nothing, as Socrates says. I realize that you guys have to always make sure you're lifting other people up. I mean, lift your kids up. I realize it's about lifting. I realize you lift to express yourself. You understand? You express yourself and that way you will be lifted. You will be lifted in a way where other people will understand you. And when other people understand you, you will also understand yourself better. I mean, talk in a way where you understand that you will love to be a person of value. I mean, be a person of value who can really help yourself to walk at great speed. You understand? I mean, walk faster than you do. You understand? Because that way you're going to be more active. You have to understand it's about more freedom. You have to understand it's about more energy. You be a more energetic person today because that's what life is. I mean, you grab life by the throat and you improve it. You improve life only. You never kick down life. I mean, many people are doing the corporate ladder and stuff in their 9-to-5 job and they're competing for money and for a $3 pay rise. I realize it's never about a pay rise. I call it a capital rise. I never use a pay. I never get paid. I realize it's never about a $3 investment raise so that you can stay in your job in a 9-to-5 job. You have to understand it's more about the free work that you're giving. I mean, what are you giving? Because are you working for money or are you working for freedom? Because those people who are working at the 9-to-5 job, they have a boss. You understand? So have no boss and be your own boss. I realize that you have no 9-to-5 job because it's not going to help you. I realize it's not going to help you. And what's going to help you is you only. I realize only you are going to help you. You need to be that type of person who can really succeed, and you need to do it today. You need to do it now. I realize now is the action you must take. You must take this moment, and you realize now, you only invest this moment. You never take it. You never take anything from life. You would realize that when you take something from someone, you've stolen something. You need to ask for permission to ask for love and for free love. You never ask to take something from anyone, although you understand that I realize when you ask, you are really asking for free love. You're never asking to steal anything, you understand? You just be a person who is never a person who is negative, because that way you're asking more questions and you're asking better questions than before. You have to ask much greater questions. And you realize that those people who are watching anything negative are going to become that, so you are your diet. I mean, go read nutrition and better yourself become someone of great quality in that information field and give it and be prosperous in it. You have to realize to show up for it, you have to be a person who's always speaking and doing something productive, because those people who are always speaking always have something to say, and the more you practice speaking, the more you can speak. I realize the more you're in front of a crowd, the more it is that you're going to do it easily than before. I realize that when you're doing it easily, you're doing it more effectively. You have to understand that those people who are living a greater life are living an easier life because they're tougher on themselves. You understand? I realize they're more disciplined. And those people who have disciplines and more disciplines to stay away from the crowd who is negative and from the drugs are going to live a better life, because think about it. I realize when you think about it, you think in the moment only. I mean, you have to be in this moment to think about it. You understand? You never think, you just be in the moment. Otherwise, it's about extinguishing your thinking. And the way to do it is writing in a journal. I always have space in my mind because I never have thinking, because it's on paper already. I write it down. I write the value, and for example, this video that I'm recording right now, I realize that many people are going to be watching this, and you can find me on Instagram at Danny Milivojevic. You will understand that no matter what, you guys just be very successful, because that way you can be amazing, and only amazing people are successful. You understand? Because everybody else is kicking people down. You never need to do that. You need to be a lifting person. You need to be a person who's free. You need to be a person who has something to give, because that way you will realize there is something more in this world than just you. You understand? You have to realize there is something greater in life, and that greater must be you who is greater than yesterday. I mean, that's the ultimate vision. I mean, the vision is do better than yesterday. I mean, if you can improve one skill of your life today, you can do anything. You understand? Because how you improve your skills is how you communicate and learn faster. And the faster you learn is the better you live life. So I realize, you have to realize, you go and do that. You go and learn how it is to learn. You go and teach people how to learn. You go and teach people how to do everything. You have to realize that's how you show up for it, because my course today is on that subject. I mean, you have to understand, those people who really love to inspire people will do it, and you have to realize, do it now, because you're going to be a free person, and you're going to love life. You're going to love life when you have a great inspiration about you, and when you're doing something successful. You understand? I mean, do something successful. I mean, be a person who can speak their mind. I'm not Nikola Tesla. You have to understand, I'm something greater in life. You understand? I'm never greater than anybody else, although I'm better than yesterday. You have to understand, I'm better than yesterday, and I'm only superior to myself. I'm never superior to you, and you never compare yourself with me. Although, you have to understand, you compare yourself with how you are. Are you better than yesterday, or do you look uglier today than you did? I don't know. Because if you look uglier today, you have to improve. You understand? And it's about getting the information to do so. I can help you. I have so much courses in my Instagram at Danny Milivojevic. I can help give you this information. And it's going to lift you. I'll give you this positive attitude, and it's going to inspire you to keep running to your success. You understand? I mean, you run to success. You understand? You run so fast, and you achieve it faster than anybody. You understand? Because more success means living to 150 years of age. I mean, go and do this on the street at 150 years of age. I promise you that you inspire somebody. You understand? You understand? Because that's life. I mean, be a public speaker. I mean, go and do something foundational that's going to help someone. I mean, look at Nick Vujicic. I mean, the guy has no arms and no legs, and he can do it. I mean, you can do it too then. I mean, you have arms and legs, and he's in front of a crowd leading tens of thousands and millions of people. I mean, why can you not do it? I mean, you can do it. You understand? You can always do it. I can do it. You have to realize that when Nick Vujicic, I mean, somebody who has no limbs, I mean, he has no arms and legs, and he can stand in front of millions of people and speak and inspire people with no arms and legs, and you have never led millions of people, I mean, you can do it too. You understand? I mean, that guy can do it. You can do it too. I mean, you never let him topple you that way. You have to also go inspire him and lift everybody as well. I mean, it's never a competition. You have to understand that if Nick Vujicic can speak in front of millions of people, I can do it too. You understand? I mean, everybody can do it. You need to be that person. You need to be that person who can do something amazing. You do something amazing because that's a gift. And when you're gifting people with free love and free information and free ideas, and you're speaking up and doing something such as, I have a dream, such as Martin Luther King Jr. says, you have to understand, I have a dream. You need a dream too. You understand? You need a dream, and you need to really do it right now. I realize that in order for you to do it, you need a planner, because planners are winners. I realize you need a financial plan. You need to do that. Otherwise, you never rely on other people to do it. You never rely on other financial planners to do that. You never give money for financial planners to solve your problems, because guess what? You need to realize that when you're giving money, it's blessed. Although you have to realize that you can only teach yourself everything. I mean, you give money for ideas, although those ideas will never teach you unless you apply them. Otherwise, so only you can apply the ideas. Otherwise, you gave money for it, so why not apply it? You understand? You apply what's given. You apply what's said in life. You apply everything in life, because that way you will succeed, and that way you'll do something inspirational, and that way you will live up to it. I mean, that's how you live up to it. This is my course, 182. I've been speaking for 1 hour and 40 minutes here. Otherwise, no matter what, you can find me. And this course, inside my Instagram, at Danny Milivojevic, you can find the 74-minute course over here. Because many people are going to be reading this, and I'm not doing this for you guys only. I'm doing this for the world, for something greater. You understand? I only do it for something greater, and I have to record it so that it can be in the test of time. Because those people who have books are always going to be around. You understand? Because the Buddha's still here, because the Buddha wrote a book. You need to write a book too, so you can be here too. Otherwise, you will just be ashes and nothing. You understand? I mean, you need to be a person to go and do something. You understand? You go do something, because the outside world will never help you, and that way you inspire people. You inspire people to do something. You inspire people to go and live a greater life. You inspire people to live something in integrity, because something in integrity means living inside, and those people who live inside can really have a better time. And it's never about ego. It's never about ego, and it's about living a greater lifestyle, because those people who live a greater lifestyle can really do it. I mean, go and do something that's really incredible. You live a way in freedom. You live in a freedom way where you can really do your work, and you can realize that it's about business. So when you're doing business with people, you're never hitting them with the batons. You understand? Because that's not the way to go. Because Jesus never hit people with a stick. You understand? Why would you hit people with a stick for? I mean, why would you shoot people? I mean, Jesus never shot people. You understand? Why would you? I mean, it's never the way to go. I don't know. I know nothing in life. I mean, you never kill people with a gun just because you work for the police. You understand? You never kill people, because thou shalt not kill. I mean, you have to understand. You never kill, because there's a better way to do life. You let them kill you. You let them kill you as Jesus was killed, and he allowed it. You understand? Because that's a freedom world. I mean, you go somewhere greater. Anyway, I realize you go somewhere greater. Anyway. You understand? Because Mahatma Gandhi was shot, and guess what? The guy is living a greater lifestyle now. I mean, he's with Jesus. You understand? I mean, you allow them to kill you. You have to understand, the world's not dangerous. I realize that the world is not dangerous because you allow it to be the way it is. You allow life. Because those people who resist it are going to be negative. You have to understand, those people who really love a lifestyle are the ones who are positive and never looking to kill people. You never kill people, because guess what? When you're talking about the outside world, you're too much into the news and what's going on out there. I never care what's going on out there. I never care who's on this 96.1. I realize that I care to give them information to help them. You understand? I never listen to what they're saying on those radio shows. I don't care. I realize that I go to better people who can teach me better ideas. You understand? Because there's always a better idea out there. You understand? You go where the better people are, who are giving you better attitudes in life. You have to understand, it's around, I realize it's around this time that I finish up this course. You can find this course inside my Instagram, at Danny Milivojevic. I realize it's my course 182. I realize it's how to chakra. I also have here, I have course 183, how to use your mind, up next. I realize I'll be speaking for 1 hour again on how to use your mind this time. I realize I'll be doing another 2 hours of information here. After that, I have how to show up in my course 184. I realize I just spoke my 182 course, and now I have another 2 topics to go. I have another 2 hours to go. So no matter what, guys, I will now leave you to it, and you guys make sure that you guys just live your lifestyle in a way. You're never shy, you're never negative, and you're living a better lifestyle. I'll see you guys in the next video.